URUX, DeFi for the people. In today's video, we're going to do a deep dive on URUX, looking into its fundamentals and price action. And it's very important that we get fundamentally bullish in preparation of this bull run so that we can buy the dips at lower levels. So you know what? Let's get right into it. All right, guys, let's do this deep dive. You know what? I've been looking at URUX for the last little while, and I've been doing my research. I've been doing my due diligence, figuring out whether this project had it in for this bull run, if it does really have some good fundamentals so that we can make those gains. And for me, honestly, it actually blew me away. I actually felt very, very bullish at the end of my research, at the end of my entire deep dive in preparation for this video. I felt like, you know what, I need to have some exposure. And the only reason why is because it really does fit in with that DeFi narrative, the DeFi narrative that I've been talking about here on the channel for so long, talking about the fact that we have a bottleneck or an issue still in our DeFi platforms, especially the DEXs per se. And the biggest issue that we have is the fact that we rely on a front end, meaning we rely on a website to allow us to get into that peer-to-peer network, which is an issue because the front end, the website, you know, the Uniswap, the PancakeSwap, and all those other DEXs that you go log into that have a domain, they are basically registered domains to a business, to a company, to a person. They're not decentralized. So in that case, there's an issue. If there is an issue with the website, there's an issue with the DEX or the DeFi platform. However, what about if you can remove the requirement to have a website and we can actually have a piece of software that is loaded onto your computer? And guys, this is what this company is trying to do. It's trying to marry up the DEX with the front end, or basically the wallet with the DEX, and the DEX being the front end to the wallet and allowing us to trade and transact and get into, you know, positions and all that good stuff in a way that is decentralized as well, makes it an entirely decentralized ecosystem. And this is something that I was thinking about earlier on, and I was always relating to, why wouldn't CZ from Binance do this? He already has all the experience. He has a wallet, he has Trust Wallet, he has, you know, Binance, he has access to PancakeSwap and other platforms that, you know, he obviously has access to. Why wouldn't he come up with something? But guess what? URUX actually did it. AUROX actually went and actually did this for the community in such a way that now we can actually step away from logging into websites and using the wallet with a front end that is distributed to each individual that wants to get access to the URUX DeFi platform. So let's kind of think about this in a little bit more detail with some visuals that they got going on here. So of course they got some really good partnerships, decent partnerships. Okay, so they're partnered up with Chainlink for information. For you know, as an Oracle, Chainlink does provide information to a lot of projects, so that's an important one. They have QuickSwap for that liquidity. So access to liquidity for a DEX is very, very important. That's one of the major issues for people, is not being able to buy and sell as quickly as possible because of the volume not being there. And of course, there's a lot of other good how can I say, partnerships here with other DEXs. You can buy this project on Uniswap and many others. But guys, this is the beginning, right? This project is really, really young. So with that being said, I'm expecting a little bit more partnerships in the future. It's not bad of a start, of course, but nonetheless, this is a very young project. The ecosystem itself, okay, so it comes in a few parts. Number one, you have to wrap your head around what I was saying earlier, the URUX wallet. Now, it is a wallet. Primarily, it is a wallet. Most people or most projects that come out at DeFi, they start with the front end, meaning they primarily talk about their website, right? And that for me is problematic, was always a problem. And you know how I always say, software solutions, including blockchain software solutions, need to solve a problem. And URUX, in fact, solves this problem perfectly. So they come up with this wallet where you can hold your tokens, right? Redefining the Web3 experience. Our wallet features a reward system, fine, intuitive user interface, fine, and advanced security with smart contract profiling, fine, transaction simulation, and phishing prevention, fine. But what they didn't mention here is that this wallet also includes a terminal. So remember what I said, the website is a terminal. It's a front end to your wallet, right? So this whole ecosystem includes a terminal. Now, if you notice with the screenshot, you do have a web browser, but the terminal, in fact, is an extension, an all-in-one trading terminal powered by URUS token that provides proprietary indicators, alerts, and customizable workspace to allow experienced as well as new investors to make better informed and trading decisions. But what's even better is that this terminal is actually a third party. It's not a website. And for me, that's very important. Let's go learn more for a second. Make educated trades, fine. Crypto traders with cutting-edge information, fine. Trade like a pro. Created by traders for traders, great. Let's see. And there's one dude on the team that apparently has a lot of trading experience, which is good. Even with prior stock market trading experience, great, powerful tools, good stuff. So cutting-edge analytics. All this information here is available to you guys to dig a little bit deeper. Community of traders, versatile platform. AUROX terminal has made it so much easier to view the entire market and spot trends and click of a button. I wish they got into a little bit more detail with regards to what I am saying, because I think that's the greatest value proposition that it has to offer, is the fact that it's no longer requires to log into a particular website. It's a standalone piece of software that is loaded up adjacent to the wallet. So for me, that's actually really, really good. Let's see if I get into this wallet tab right here. So this is the wallet. Okay, no real level of security. Okay, advanced smart contract monitoring. That's the wallet. So that's the wallet. And then what about true glass swapping? Okay, click swap. Of course, you get one-click cross-chain swapping, and you get a lot of benefits if you're a token holder, meaning a lot of those fees get, waived. If you're a holder, you get reduced fees and all that good stuff. And for staking, you know what? It has really much, has all the details and all the features that a traditional DeFi platform offers. So that's really good. And again, the value proposition, our flagship AUROX terminal is now built directly into the AUROX wallet extension. So this is what I was talking about. In fact, the front end is an extension. It's not a website. Very, very good. Find hot and newly listed token NFTs, monitoring the entire DeFi market, chart trade without ever needing to connect your wallet to a dApp. The full mode is fully decentralized. This, in fact, for me, is the value proposition. Unfortunately, on here on the website, it is a hidden value proposition. They just boast a lot of the good things that all other platforms have, DeFi platforms, but the thing that they should have been really clear about and made it of the biggest statement was this statement right here. The full mode is fully decentralized and hosted locally right inside your browser. Okay, so think about Uniswap being an extension that is on your browser rather than a website. Guys, I can't repeat this anymore, because for me, this means that at the end of the day, there's no business in front of the website whatsoever. It is a piece of software that can be distributed to browsers from a peer-to-peer network as well, as a third-party application. Really, really important to really decentralize DeFi going forward. Okay, so just imagine if Binance would take this approach and have a Binance, an extension that had the terminal, the Binance terminal that we're all used to as an extension, and the website didn't exist, and you can log into this extension and you can get your wallet, your Trust wallet, very similarly. Just to put this into context, these guys are front running this idea really, really hard. So I really like the idea so far. So let's go back for a second, because of course, all these are very typical. That's why I skim right through them. Gasless swapping. Obviously, if you're a token holder, you get a lot of these great features. DEX simple DEX. Okay, a lot of good stuff. We have the Chrome Google Chrome desktop. This is what we're talking about, that extension for the full wallet. A lot of things happening here that are very, very traditional, except that terminal wallet relationship. Right now, that for me is the hottest thing possible for this project. Okay, let's continue here. Let's go back a little bit. Let's see where we kind of left off. I wish the website was geared towards, research. That's one thing that a lot of web developers don't realize, is that most people, when they go on a website, yes, they like all the graphics and all that good stuff, but they come out here looking for specific things, such as myself, specific information. And those are the individuals that want to waste time digging around too much. And I'll explain a little bit more in the future, in a bit, about one of my experiences trying to figure out this team. The AUROX protocol, this is a bit unclear. I don't know what they mean by that, but at the end of the day, they do have their blockchain. It is built on Binance, the Binance Smart Chain, and it is also built on Ethereum blockchain. They have contracts for both. It seems like they're trying to tap into both chains to basically make it best of both worlds. And they do have a nice relationship or partnership with Avalanche, which for me is actually pretty good. We'll take a look at that in a second. Make DeFi easy. Of course, we want to make DeFi easy. This was the platform. I think we covered this pretty good. The most powerful trading platform without any headaches. Remember that red tape. Remember the resistance that we get for especially newcomers. I've been saying this so many times on the channel. One of the issues is the wallets and the whole keys and all that good stuff that we like as crypto holders. But what about the new people that are trying to come in, that are just looking at it and getting very intimidated by this tech savvy requirement? Well, these guys are promising making it easy. And this is, guys, for mass adoption and full adoption for everybody, we're going to have options for these individuals. And I think that this is what they're trying to go with, while still maintaining, the level of complexity that we're used to, while still offering features for other individuals to use, right? New features coming soon. DeFi-backed simplified trading, powered by URUS token, of course. The gas rebates unlock full power of the terminal, and wallet rewards. Guys, this is the tokenization, the utilization of the token, which I find to be very traditional and typical. You get your rebates, you get your rewards, and typical DeFi. Now, as far as the token distribution, guys, I found it to be really, really good. Fair launch. At the end of the day, the holders don't hold any, so I found that to be really interesting. It's all in distribution except some. We'll get into a little bit more detail in a second, but nonetheless, the majority is already in distribution, and some of it are just reserved for these things right here, like the rebates and the rewards and all that good stuff. Very, very typical and very ideal in an environment where people are very skeptical about being honest and all that. To have that fair launch system is actually ideal. Okay, so that for me is pretty good. Let's kind of scroll up. So far so good, guys. We're scrolling through this website quick, trying to make it a quick thing, because at the end of the day, researching can take time, and I go ahead and take my time for you guys so that you don't have to waste so much time scrolling through things. We did the wallet. Let's look at this terminal for a second. Again, traders, created for traders. Something that we have to understand is I was trying to figure out the team, and the team, there's nowhere listed. It's nowhere listed who's involved and who's backing this project, okay? And for me, that's a very unfortunate thing. Now, they are not officially doxed here on the website, which they should be. They should be fully doxed. They should be explaining who they are and what they're all about. And I did a bit of a deep dive, and I did figure out who these guys are. There's 3 guys behind it and some advisors. The advisors are actually listed here, some of them. I don't know if there's more, but this is here. If you go to the business tab, you're going to find a little bit of information regarding what they've been doing lately. Okay, so they completes basically crowdfunding and continues the path towards public listing. This is an interesting thing. Okay, right. This is an interesting thing, because at the end of the day, are they going to be traded on the public stock exchange? That would be interesting to see this regulated and into an exchange, into the stock exchange. I don't know how that's going to work out. Publicly traded DeFi software companies, this is what they want to be, and this is what they want to become. So let's see if this effort actually pulls through. I don't know if it's a good thing. I don't know if it's a bad thing. I don't know if it's going to require regulation for this software. I'm on the fence about this. I want to see a little bit more and hear a little bit more with regards to this idea, and see what the team is, thinking. To the shareholders, of course, do your research. If you're going to become a shareholder, you got to do your research, guys. That's a different can of worms, obviously. New funding round, okay, launching today. They're collecting more money, obviously, and this is typical of new projects all the time. Let's get into what's important here. The all-new AUROX brand website. The website needs a little bit of work still, I must admit. It's a little bit disjointed here and there. there. It's better than the most that I've seen so far. I'll give it that. Like, but there's a few odd tweaks that need to be a little bit clearer here and there. And I feel like there needs to be a full-on section talking about how they're going to be a fully decentralized DEX. This is where no other DEX is really doing this right now. And this is where they really need to allocate some real estate on their website for it. Okay, so very important. URUS closes a $5 million strategic investment round. Perfect. Okay, they're making that liquidity. They have basically some capital there to make things work. I'm looking for a very important engaging with Clay. I'm looking for what I saw earlier on. Might be on a partnerships. This is what I'm looking at. Forget the business for a second. URUS to expand Avalanche support with key ecosystem partners. So getting that liquidity or getting that access to the Avalanche ecosystem, that's pretty good. I like that. So another thing to look at, Cryptos Are Us and Altcoin Dailies have joined their team as basically as advisors. Now, they have their experiences in the industry. You got to admit, these guys are OGs in the crypto space. They know what they're talking about, no doubt. And they don't necessarily need to be developers. They don't necessarily need to be blockchain developers or any full stack developers whatsoever to actually know things about crypto, which is very, very true. However, guys, the team right now, as I mentioned, there's no clear place to actually see who's on the team. And the majority of the team, two of the guys that are on the team, have a lot of sales experience, especially with Facebook. One of them has some trading experience. The CEO, in fact, has some experience in sales and all that. And the COO is a trader, and then they have a developer that is completely undoxed. At least the other ones have a little bit of links on Instagram and on LinkedIn and all that, but the developer has none. And to be honest, he doesn't really have a blockchain background to be said there. So that for me is a little bit of an issue, and this could be the reason why they want to know a little bit more about the blockchain industry through Cryptos Are Us and Altcoin Daily. That could be possible, and obviously having these guys for marketing experience is obviously a bonus. So I don't know if they're trying to make up for it. And to be honest, I was thinking last night, it could be possible the reason why they don't have a page that, fully docs them is because the reality is they don't really offer much with regards to the crypto space. Reality, they're sales guys. They sold marketing solutions for Facebook and other ad space. So for me, that was, a little bit of a limitation, no doubt. So maybe they strategically made themselves undoxed, and the developer himself that is listed there has no links to anything. You don't know who he could be, a picture of anybody on there without any proof or any background. There's no real, there's no real transparency. So for me, I understand if they got some crypto professionals in here to kind of give them a little bit of basically be like a mentor, let's say, to give them some ideas what's happening here in the crypto space. So that's really important. What else do we have here? Yeah, these dudes, Altcoin Daily, we know who they are. Go check them out. This dude right here, he knows his stuff. He's an OG. He's been around a while, so he knows his stuff. And of course, the list goes on and the list goes on. They have this dude right here, Steve. Steve is basically a chief software advisor. He's just an advisor, but he does have some experience on Google and Salesforce, which are heavyweights. We know that, so that could be really good. Just working with the team could give them a little bit of an edge here, which is an interesting thing. We have a new partnership tool for traders with Gelato. Okay, that's good. So partnerships everywhere. And then another member here, basically marketing and accelerating growth, which for me is good. But the main guys of this team, and you can see there's no real links to them. I couldn't find it anywhere, and I was able to find it, but I'm not going to dox them myself. I'm not going to put them out there. If they do the right thing for the community, they should be putting a page right here on About Us or something like that. That's nice and clear. I couldn't find it. I spent time yesterday looking for a page on the guys who are behind this team, and there was nothing there. Okay, so like you can see that typically it should be like right here, or even on the footer header or in the footer, and to make it really stand out. And we do have some here. Terminal made much easier. Steve, who are these dudes? Nothing. I think these are users, but you can see blog support, documentation, terms and conditions, privacy and policy. Nothing whatsoever with regards to the team up front and center. Okay, so we need to really get that going. So my consensus right now, my overall idea right here is the fundamentals are great. The tokenomics are very, very typical. However, I like that they did a fair value. You know what? Let's get right into, let's go look at the infographic that I prepared for you guys. I'm going to share this on the socials. I'm going to be taking a look at this to kind of do a recap and an overall, verdict to see, should we be buying the dip? I know there's a lot of projects coming out lately, and that we get bombarded with lots of projects, especially in the bear market leading into the bull market. So we have some decisions to make. And is it a smart decision? It is a wise decision to get some exposure here to AUROX. And for me personally, I'll jump right into the case. I think that it is a great opportunity, given that they have the right vision. Okay, so part of their strengths, of course, 10 out of 10 for their ecosystem. The coupling of the wallet and the terminal is actually an amazing idea, and it's an idea that it has been kind of settling with me. I'm a developer myself, so I understand exactly how this works and exactly what the benefit are of basically having a decentralized ecosystem, in particular for the DEX environment. Guys, it will be bulletproof. It will be pretty much bulletproof. The only other weak link there is your IP address after that. If you follow what I'm saying, you'll see that there is a benefit. Utility, terminal token utility, of course, receiving discounts and all those trading fees and all that good stuff that traditional DeFi platforms offer. And of course, it is very typical and it does it really well. So 10 out of 10 for that. No real negativity there. Roadmap. The roadmap needs a little bit of an update. Of course, they're still hustling, trying to get things done, but it does need a little bit of an update on the website. What I do like, if you look at their white papers, what I do like is that they do offer individual roadmaps for their wallet and their terminal with a little bit more detail individually. So the overall roadmap, the main roadmap, is a little bit weak. It needs a bit of an update, but the individual roadmap for each project is actually pretty detailed. That's why I gave it 9 out of 10. It can't get a perfect, but it is a 9 out of 10 because those individual roadmaps are really good. The team, here's where I have a bit of an issue, of course. The team needed to be a little bit more doxed. I know that they did a fair value launch in the sense that, the tokens are already all in distribution. The team doesn't hold any of the tokens. So really, it gives them the incentive to say, well, then why do I need to be fully doxed? Well, the people that invest want to know who's behind it. And that's the reality, especially in crypto space. It's a wild west out here, and we really want to know who's behind it and what kind of experience is running this project. So at the end of the day, it needed to be fully doxed. More blockchain experience would have helped. However, those partnerships that we talked about, the Altcoin Daily dudes and, Cryptos URUS, those guys really do know what they're talking about with regards to fundamentals. But, having someone from a technical aspect that really knows blockchain, and the guy that's listed, that's behind the team as a developer, the full stack developer, he could have blockchain experience, but it's not known. He didn't clear it up. He didn't make it doxed. He didn't make it clear. He doesn't share experience. So you know what? We got to assume that he doesn't, right? Because if he did, why wouldn't he, right? So that's why I give it a 7 out of 10. The socials, they need a bit of work. The socials, at the end of the day, a lot of the projects are getting hit by the socials because, of course, in a bear market, we're not getting much activity. Not much interest, but it is, the Twitter followers are only 21K, and they're coming down slightly in the last 30 days. And the amount of Twitter activity from their behalf, actually tweets that they send out, is coming down in the last 30 days as well. So they're losing a little bit of steam in this bear market. Guys, it's very normal. And a lot of the projects that I've been researching lately have a very similar stat. So, don't hold it against them, but nonetheless, it would be nice to see them at least getting very, very active out there on the socials. Tokenomics, perfect. At the end of the day, that fair value launch is actually what we've been looking for in the recent days with regards to projects. Tokens, 52% are already in circulation. 37% are held for rewards because, the DeFi platform is going to reward holders and all that good stuff. Typical DeFi, tokenomics. 30% for the company reserves, of course. We need a little bit for that. Everybody's got to eat. That's a very common thing. 5% exchange for the reserve. Again, fair launch. This was the key word, the fair launch. Everything is clear and transparent with regards to tokenomic distribution. So that's very good. Team did not receive any tokens, money from venture capitalists or pre-launch tokens. governance. Very, very important. 10 out of 10 for that. Nice and clear. No real risk or red flags right there. Okay, so you can actually take this one step further and go check out the blockchain to see token holders, where are these tokens being held, how many wallets, and all that good stuff. If you're into that depth, feel free to do that. Just to give you an idea, you just go on chain and you go on the Etherscan on the Binance, basically terminal, the scanner, and go check out that and see what's going on there with those wallets. Partnerships. We touched upon this already. The quick swap to access liquidity, Avalanche for their ecosystem, of course, and other ecosystems coming soon. That's promising, Avalanche being a big one. And then Chainlink deliver latest news and information to their platform. And as an oracle, as the leading oracle, that was the choice they made, and that's great. Exchanges, KuCoin, Uniswap, PancakeSwap, Gate. Okay, we don't have any major exchanges like Binance or Coinbase just yet, or any others for that matter, but it's a good start. And that's why I gave it a 6 out of 10. But you can take this a little differently. You can look at it, okay, fine, it doesn't have exposure to the bigger exchanges just yet, but that means that when they do get listed, we'll get some volume and some more growth in the price. So at the end of the day, this could be both a negative and a positive in disguise, and it means that we're slightly early if it's only listed on KuCoin just yet. Now, it is a centralized exchange, Uniswap being decentralized and PancakeSwap being decentralized, but at the end of the day, we're looking for the heavyweights to really drive the volume and the liquidity. And we can see, if you look left, the ticker obviously is URUS, URUS, and the price right now, give or take, is $13.74. But don't get hung up on that, because I know a lot of new traders, they come in and say, wow, look, $13, that's expensive, because they see a lot of other micro caps or low cap projects in the penny zone. But you have to understand how that's calculated and why that's the case, right? Now, the market cap is $55 million market cap. That's very, very small. Okay, guys, so we're still very, very early. The trading volume, unfortunately, is only 2.8%. And I feel this directly relates to the fact that it's only available on KuCoin and Gate and DEXs. This is why we're not getting much volume. As soon as it gets listed on a major exchange, guys, we're going to see a lot more volume, a lot more trading happening. And then for me, we might see an increase in the price. And that's very, very hopeful, right? So at the end of the day, it's only 2.8% trading volume, and I like to see between 10 to 15% at least to actually consider it a good opportunity. But we're still early, okay? So the overall supply, the circulating supply right now is about half a 520,000, so 500,000. So guys, we still have about half left in circulate to basically be deployed. And we talked about the overall distribution. 52% is in circulation, the rest are being held for rewards. So the other half is being held for rewards and company reserves and exchange reserves and other little add-ons here and there. But nonetheless, the rest is being slowly deployed to the market as rewards, which, guys, is great. That's how you get people incentivized to use the DeFi platform, and that for me is excellent. The fact that they also have very clear, transparent distribution leads me to believe that that's one of the positives as well. Okay, so max supply 1 million euros and fully diluted right now at about $13 million, guys. That's very, very small, very, very small company, and for me, I feel like there's a lot of growth and potential here. If this idea, what's the biggest value proposition here, as you noticed, I'm looking at these numbers once again, is the overall ecosystem. What they got going on there with that wallet and the terminal could be the future as how we're going to see the DEX and the wallet and the whole DeFi platform work in the future. So the overview, of course, is a DeFi platform, and it does offer all the very typical DeFi services, but the value proposition, guys, it needs to be very, very clear and exemplified on that website. So the verdict, my overall verdict, of course, I got some points there that I have already kind of discussed. It hits a very important narrative, the DeFi or the DEX narrative, and it also has that front end is also decentralized. Again, I'm going to repeat that. I put some asterisks there so that we can make sure that that's the most important part here that actually makes me so fundamentally bullish. Fully integrated wallet and DEX ecosystem. The team doesn't have blockchain and crypto experience, unfortunately. If they did, they should have made it clear. They do have experience in marketing, sales, and Facebook, which is good. So getting this thing sold and getting the whole overall marketing package going is probably their greatest strength, which at the end of the day is a great thing to have in their background. The team page is not linked to the home page, so there's no team. There's nothing there, but I was able to find a page. I was able to kind of link it up and find the page where they actually show a lot of what they're about. Guys, do your research. You might find it as well. Fair launch, token distribution, socials need a bit of work. We talked about that. These decent strategic partnerships, also, of course, up and coming as a new project. You're going to expect a little bit more out of the team, and this is where people want to focus mostly. Is what do I think this price could be? Now we're at $13.74. Now, what about if it reaches Uniswap? Okay, that's crazy gains. Obviously, 676x just to reach Uniswap. But what about GMX? Let's be a little bit more, down to earth. Let's say GMX. Let's make it even less, right? Just try to be open-minded, and at the end of the day, you can do, price for a moonshot, but at the end of the day, I'd rather be modest and think about it. At the end of the day, I'm very bullish about the idea, and the idea should do very well. And if it can keep up or reach, maybe GMX or somebody or another project that a little bit, less market cap. At the end of the day, there's a lot of room to grow here. I can't see why not. If this thing does well and it does what it meant to do, and the overall crypto space sees the value in a fully decentralized DEX DeFi platform, guys, this thing could reach close to a 1K and not a problem. Okay, so for me, that's a really bullish scenario. I give this a 9 out of 10 overall, guys. If you appreciated this overall, deep dive, do the channel a huge favor. Slap the like button. It does really help out with that algorithm. Guys, I know you want to talk about charts. Let's go check out what the price action is showing us in the last little while. Okay, so at the end of the day, URUS is going sideways. Like many other projects in the crypto space, there's nothing really happening with the price. We get nice wicks to the upside and quick sell-offs. And for me, that's not really good. But at the end of the day, we know that this is a new project, and this is very typical in new projects to see this type of price action and manipulation. But the question is, should we be buying the dip? Let's look at this in a little bit more detail. You can see the price action is coming down bit by bit. Okay, it is coming down bit by bit. We are still making lower lows and lower highs. Okay, so this is something to be aware of. This is a little, scenario where you got to be willing to take a bit of risk. We can see that the trend is still to the downside, and the saying is the trend is your friend until the end. Right, so we're still downward sloping, lower lows, fine, and we are also still kind of getting those lower highs, right? So lower highs, lower lows, guys, the trend is down. So what do? We kind of be patient. However, guys, this could be the last line in the sand where we actually see this thing pick up. Why? Is because after the previous dump, and I'm looking at the weekly here, okay? So the weekly time frame, this range is actually pretty big, and we're actually seeing as the price action is downward sloping here on the weekly, we are seeing that the RSI, the momentum, and even the MACD is slowly trying to lift up. Guys, this is early. This is the time to actually think about dabbling in very, very slowly, no leverage. Just be prepared to accumulate. Let's get into the daily. You can see that we do have a channel that we clearly define here, and it is within a range as well. So a little bit of a range happening with the downward sloping bias. Now we are exiting or trying to exit this wedge. We exited the wedge and we quickly drove up to the base of the wedge at about $25, and that was the take profit. I covered this project one day, I think it was last week live, and this was my analysis, and this was the chart. This was the take profit. This was the buy opportunity. This was the trade setup. So I still feel like we're still in a great scenario for accumulation. We did get overbought quickly on the daily. We kind of scooched right straight there, but then what? We got a quick retracement right back where we came from. Very typical price action in new projects that are low caps. Okay, so let's be on the lookout for opportunities at lower levels. I still feel like this bullish divergence that we see here, lower lows on the price action here on the daily, and the RSI is slowly pivoting to the upside. Now we did get a bit of follow through. I don't think it's done. I think that this is a great accumulation time. I still feel like we should be able to get right back up there and hang out here like we've done in the past and be able to take profits right about $25 once again. Now you have an option, right? If you get there, you're easily doubling your money. Let's get a measurement tool. If you were able to get in right now and get right back to range highs, you're easily you're getting a 95%. Take half on the double. Take half on the double. That way you're just playing with house money. And if we do retrace once again and get a nice little dip, you have some capital, some gains to be used to deploy at lower levels once again. So this is the range that I'm looking at. Now on the daily, it could be that we break below the range, because at the end of the day, it's starting to look like a bull flag, right? It does look like a bull flag on the weekly. Right, let's go back into the weekly once again. You can see after, you know, the initial launch, it did come down quickly. Now it's making a bit of a flag, and could we get a continuation to the downside? And obviously Bitcoin's going to give us that decision. Bitcoin is going to tell us whether this thing's going to come down for another dip or not. However, guys, scaling in right now is not a bad idea, because you're not buying the tops. Number one, you're at a good level of consolidation. You have a clear invalidation. Now what I really want to do is use extension levels here for a second, because this is all you could really do when you see the price action basically falling into the abyss of no price action. Swing low to swing high, and then you kind of scooch this over, and you can see that we are currently still within a decent level. We didn't even get to the 1.618 extension level, 1.27, nothing of that sort. So we do have some options still left. Now you could potentially, let's say, ignore these wicks, and I wouldn't do that, right? But nonetheless, I still feel like we are still in a good accumulation range, and potentially this testing liquidity below here, because you can imagine a lot of people going long at the bottom range here with a clear ice line, people going long, and then you get that liquidity grab for that manipulation. And as a lower cap project, that usually is what happens. Get prepared for that for lower caps and mid caps, because you get a lot of manipulation, especially when the order books are very thin with very low volume. Guys, we know that this only had about approximately 2% volume, which for me is not enough to actually show market participation. So we need market participation as a new project. Expect that to increase as we see more exchanges basically list the token on their platform. Okay, so right now on the daily, not bad of an accumulation, taking a bit of risk, of course, because it is still a lower low. A slight bullish divergence with a little bit of a rally up is healthy, but still a lower low. Okay, now if we get some support here on the 4-hour, okay, and we can see that what we're doing right now is getting a bit of support, creating a potential higher low. This higher low could be the beginning of a potential reversal to the upside and continuation. Now, we came from very overbought. We're coming back down for a reset. Could we get another impulse to the upside and finally get this thing trending to the upside, or at least sideways for the next little while, so that we can accumulate a little bit more? So full disclaimer here, guys. This is a bit risky price action wise, okay? The setup is not strong. This little setup, this descending wedge is good, but we got that breakout to the upside, and now we're retracing back again. It's back into the bottom of the range in accumulation. Okay, so be very careful with this project. I would be dabbling in very slowly, maybe 20% at a time, and just kind of deploy as we hang around here, because big picture, guys, if this thing does what it's supposed to do and it reaches a 1K price target, a $500 price target, you're really able to make some really good gains in the next up and coming bull run for this project. Guys, that's what I got for you today. Thank you for stopping by. If you haven't yet, do the channel a huge favor, slap the like button. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to join that Discord. That Discord is hot right now. A lot of good individuals sharing good alpha throughout the day. And of course, guys, I'm live at 7:30 Eastern talking about crypto news and price action. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.